Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. This is your host Ram, welcoming you to your Saturday edition. As you know, it's become a weekly basis. I'm here to talk about cricket, and today, I really welcoming you all to my cricket show, Cricket Happenings. And today, I'm going to talk about a sensational game which happened at Abu Dhabi in the 24th match of the Indian Premier League 2020. KKR 164 for 6. Kings 11 Punjab at one stage very good pace, and it was absolutely a given that Kings 11 Punjab were going to win this game. They were 115 for none after 14.2 overs. And can you believe it? Kings 11 Punjab lost them a slender margin of 2 runs. Now, this is pathetic, according to me. 115 for none in the 15th over, and they were chasing 164 for 6, which was set by the KKR, and the Kings 11 Punjab lost the match by 2 runs. It was truly a sensational match, which I'm going to talk about. So that is this match was between the CSK. They are languishing now. They have only got one win out of 7 matches after showing a lot of promise. One thought, but they are actually giving it away at the end. That's what has been the situation so far. Now, as far as the convincing victory, one could say in the end, but what a knock from Virat Kohli. I took his time at the crease. Given the situation, and there was 66 runs added in 11. I think it was, if I'm not wrong, it was they were going at a clip of 11. So 6 overs and 66 runs were slammed, out of which 46 runs were slammed by Virat Kohli. I have to tell you, was that man, that Virat Kohli that everyone knows. He was in his absolute element as he slammed them for fours and sixes to finish on 90 not out of 52 balls, which included four fours and an equal number of sixes. That was a tremendous knock from Virat Kohli, and he was truly the man of the match as they won it. So I'm going to talk about these 2 matches, but first, let's talk about this sensational game that happened at Abu Dhabi. Let's talk about Kolkata Knight Riders. So if you look at the Kolkata Knight Riders innings, they totaled up 164 for 6. They lost Tripathi pretty early as he was dismissed for just 4 runs by Mohammad Shami, who clean bowled him. But Shubman Gill played a nice innings of 57 or 47, dealt with 5 fours before being run out by Mandeep Singh. It was a combination of the Singhs, I could say, Mandeep Singh and Pravis Miran Singh, combining to run out. It was a comic run out, actually. The Gill had actually played the ball to the short fine leg, and basically it's only a case of Nitesh Rana, responding to the call, and Rana out. You have to say that this was a very comic dismissal, um, because and you're running at the danger, and really you have to say you have to trust 145 for 4, and thanks to Dinesh Karthik, who played a nice knock of 58 of 29 deliveries with 8 fours and 2 sixes, that they reached 164 for 6. Andre Russell was gone for just 5 runs, and it was 164 for 6. If you look at the bowling, the most impressive bowler, according to me, was Arshdeep Singh. He's a left arm pace bowler, got the ball to swing, and he looks to be a very smart bowler. That's what I could see. Because what he does, that's what precisely, and he's also a very smart. And it was away from the arc of Andre Russell's 25. Rahman normally he's a bowler, so it was a bit surprising to see Mujibur Rahman coming in and bowling after the power play. And probably the reason that was because Arshdeep Singh was really hitting the blocks, and Mohammad Shami was also did his job very well. And as you know, he had a habit of removing he loves the left-handers' wickets, the southpaws wickets. And today, Morgan was one of his victims. there, and all that Morgan could see was Maxwell settling under the catch at long on. And it was the chase for the Kings XI Punjab. But also thought when the KKR, but when it came to the Kings XI Punjab getting on to bat, one saw batting was looking pretty. Rahul, as you know, he had lang race of his with which he plays, and he was stroking the ball to an absolute nicety. And one of his strokes was doing precisely, and Rahul and Agarwal were combining beautifully, and they were really, really going at some good pace. And they were there. I mean, just look at this. They're chasing 164 for 6 set by the cake stage. Mayank Agarwal and KL Rahul. Now, everything started with the first wicket, which was gone. It was Mayank Agarwal's first wicket. Mayank Agarwal wanted to have a Krishna. He tried to pick the pickup shot, and he was gone, but not before getting a 50. He made 56 of 39 deliveries, which included 6 fours and 1 6. And the other end, and after that, Nicholas Pooran came in. Nicholas Pooran immediately showed his hitting prowess by slamming 16 of 10 balls with 2 fours and 15 for the Kings XI Punjab to get onto the victory. And look at the total mess up that happened here. The first wicket to go was Nicholas Pooran. Now, Sunil Narine was the bowler. This was the 18th over. It was nothing much. 18th over, and one would have definitely said 100 times out of 100 that Kings XI Punjab would have won this match. But Sunil Narine, as you know, now the Kolkata Knight Riders, what one is seeing from Kolkata Knight Riders' game plan is that they are having different plans. The other, they had style swing at it, and this was something that Pooran should not have done. There was no need to do that. I mean, you have 20 runs to get and 3 overs, and Nicholas Pooran could have just bided his time. I mean, and one did not know what was the reason that Nicholas Pooran actually tried to give room for himself against the bowling of such a good bowler like Sunil Narine, and lost his stumps. And this was what triggered the top inexperience was snapped. Now that was an over where not a 149 for 3, and the Smiran Singh was a victim of the bowling of Prasidh Krishna. And what an over from Prasidh Krishna, that one has to say. Immense pressure now on the Kings XI Punjab. Rahul was out in the, basically they needed 14 runs of the far. Glenn Maxwell, Marine, Mandeep lost his particular over for naught. Chris Jordan for naught, and the game was over. Sunil Narine, he had to defend in the 20th over. That is, he had to defend 13 runs, and he defended it very well, giving away only 11 runs. And Glenn Maxwell really hit us 6 as well. But he hit 2 fours, sorry. But that really didn't help matters. And as I said, this was a match which was absolutely on a platter to the Kolkata Knight Riders. And thus, as I said, Kolkata Knight Riders now are doing a good scene for them. And this was a match which was absolutely in their hands. They just gave it away on a platter. Cummins 4 overs, not for 20. Prasidh Krishna was very, very impressive. 4 overs, no maiden, 3 for 29. He has a good bowling action as well. Kamlesh Nagar caught, he was costly, 3 overs, none for 40. Varun 4. That is the that was as far as that match was concerned. Now let's go on to the other and the CSK. Now RCB, definitely they lost Finch very early. Now this was tremendous bowling from Chahar. First he bowled 3 outswingers to Arun Finch, and the 4th one was an inside bowl Chahar for 2, and then Padikkal and Kohli had to really rein themselves in, which they did. They settled 53 runs for the 2nd wicket, and then the ball, a victim of a seam delivery from Shardul Thakur. I thought the cross seam delivery is something which Shardul Thakur is getting a lot of wicket at the best wicket. He was gone for 10, and then the score was 114 at that particular juncture, and 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 from 140, I suppose, and from that time onward, he was absolutely caning the bat of Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli, as I said, was in his absolute element. He was dismissing the bowlers for fours and and there was he had no issues doing that. And what was good about Virat Kohli was looking at the way how he was actually shimming. I thought from 40 odd runs, go and see the strokes. I mean, how he carted Chahar was simply superb. 40. Bravo, 3 overs, none for 29. KV Sharma, 70 to win. But Washington Sundar, who has been a sort of a real feature for the for the Royal Challengers Bangalore, who bowls the power play overs, as you know, as Virat Kohli has been using him. He picked up both the openers' wickets. He had a to Chris Morris, who played today. Jagdishan came into the now to Premier League, and that was the precise reason he was bought by the CSK. And he definitely, I would say, did a good job. He scored a very quick 33 of 28 deliveries, which included 4 boundaries. And then Jagdish all over. He put that attempt where the batsman has to really ground the bat and see. It was 15 runs to get, and with Dhoni, one would have already expected. But Dhoni himself hit one six of Chahal, but Chahal was very smart. He bowled a ball. He knew that Dhoni will be going for his strokes. He bowled a wide delivery outside the corridor, outside the off stump, and forced Dhoni to reach for it and try to slap. As he got a faint tickle as he tried to, was absolutely the Royal Challengers Bangalore. Morris, as I said, were very, very good RCB. Tremendous. Nitesh Saini, he's someone who's a real find for India. 4 overs, no maiden, none for 18. Chris Morris, absolutely on the money. 4 overs, no maiden, 19 runs and 3 wickets. Ishru Udana, Premier League, followed by the Mumbai Indians, who will be taking on Delhi Capitals. What a what a crunch match that is going to be. That's going to be the second match, the double header tomorrow coming up. Washington Sundar for bowled a solitary over done for 14. And Virat Kohli, for his splendid batting, was named man of the match. And RCB would be very happy to see Virat Kohli getting into some pink bath. And Rajasthan Royals, who have been struggling, will be having some good news in the form of Ben Stokes Ben Stokes should be playing tomorrow, and I think that will. And right now the standings go with Delhi Capitals absolutely on the top of the Indian Premier League, followed. What a crunch match that is going to be. That's going to be the second match, the double header tomorrow coming in the United Arab Emirates and the Indian Premier League.